Guys, welcome back to another Big Al Devlin video, and today's video is a new video, actually a new series, and it's all about starting 40k. So it's loosely based on an old White Dwarf article called The Tale of Four Gamers, where every month you get like a budget and you can spend so much and you have to build up an army, adding to it every month. That's exactly what I'm going to do with my new 40k 8th edition force. Now I've picked Demons of Chaos, more specifically Slaanesh demons. That's what I'm going to focus on, and what I've done is I've set myself my initial budget just to get things rolling. First month can be £150, that's quite a lot, 150 quid, but from now on I can only spend £50 a month adding to it. Now obviously if my purchases come to £54 in 1 month, that's not a problem, but I've got to take it off the next month, so it'd be like £46. And the challenge is within the next sort of 3-4 months to have a 2,000 point army ready, glued, assembled, painted, and be able to present to you guys to show you that in just a matter of a few months, with a little bit of money, not a huge amount of money, you can build up a working force. Now the best place to start, whether your starting budget is £50, £100, £150, £200. Best place to start is the combo boxes that Games Workshop now do. They haven't always done this. Well, I've been in the hobby for about 21 years now, so I remember when this was new, and I remember thinking it was great. But this was what back then, but what is to me a new concept. I've never really bought one of these. I've always tailored my armies as I've gone along. The only other way to do it back in the old past was to buy the old starter sets, but you get a rule book and everything, and this was the day before eBay and that, so you'd end up with a lot of things you didn't want unless you had like a brother or a friend or something like that you'd share the stuff with. But this is what I've started with. As you can see, my focus is going to be on Slaanesh. I have connected Slaanesh before, but in the form of Chaos Warriors. Back in, was it 5th edition fantasy? That was a long time ago anyway. And I've also done a little bit of Emperor's Children in the past also, both in Horus Heresy and it's 30k and 40k. So I do have a history of Slaanesh. That's my favourite of the Chaos Gods. I do like Khorne also. And Tzeentch has got really cool recently. Nurgle I like, but the models have never interested me. Even though the models are beautiful, that I like beauty rather than sort of putridness. So I've gone along, with what my heart goes with, my initial gut instinct, which is Slaanesh. Now I know on the table field they're not necessarily as strong as some of the other monogod demon forces, but they're pretty good. Now this month's purchase, say I limited myself to 150 quid, and it was simple. I bought 3 boxes of this. So 1 box, 2 box, 3 box. Okay, each box contains 16 miniatures. They contain an exalted Seeker Chariot, and what they don't say, even though they say on the box includes an exalted Seeker Chariot, they don't say that obviously that includes all the options, such as a Hellflayer. If you wanted a Hellflayer instead of the exalted Chariot, then of course you can have that. If you want a normal Chariot, then that's not a problem either. But you've got what was originally a separate box, and it was a limited edition originally. I think there was only limited amounts available, but now it's fully available. You do get the full kit that allows you to do all 3 options: Seeker Chariot, Exalted Seeker Chariot, and Hellflayer. And of course you can always count the Daemonette on top as a Herald as well, so you do get a potential HQ option with this also. Which is the whole point of this, is that this gives you a HQ option with the Chariot, a Troops choice with the Daemonettes, and a fast attack choice with the Seekers, wherever they are. I'm trying to get where the light's not shining too much on the cellophane. I'll tell you what, I've got one that I've taken the cellophane off, because I have opened 1 box. Let's have a look in, there we go. It's a bit easier to view now. Okay, so you get the exalted chariot, but you do get all the other options if you want. So I've bought 3 boxes here. I might only want to use one as a herald on an exalted seeker chariot, and use the other 2 as either normal seeker chariots or as hellflayers. The option's there for me if I want to. I'm going to be using them all as exalted chariots, but the option is there nonetheless for those of you who are interested in doing a similar army to this. You also do get 10 demonettes. Okay, demonettes are the sort of core element of any Slaanesh demon force. They are your foot troops. They're quick as anything. They're very nimble, high initiative. Traditionally, obviously, initiative doesn't matter so much now in 8th edition, but they do get the ability to strike first, regardless of whether they've been charged or whatever. They always strike first. They're really good. In fact, that applies to all Slaaneshi models. But these are incredibly fragile infantry at the same time, and so they hit hard, they move fast, but they die very quickly also. So you're going to need quite a lot of them. And 30 is almost every demonet that I want. I might buy in one of my month's spending sprees 1 box of demonettes just so I can have like 3 groups of 13 or something, because I feel that's kind of fluffy having 30. Well, 6 isn't it, the number of for Slaanesh, but regardless of that, so I should really do it as 6, 12 or 18 as multiples of 6, but a 13, I don't know, just it's an unlucky number. It's a good number, I feel, for fielding demons in. Now the Seekers, I do have an idea for those Seekers. I want to be fielding them in either 2 big units of a good 13, 14, 15 models, that sort of strong, or I want to be fielding them as 4 units of that strong with a herald amongst them to make my flanks and my army really strong. I've got a rough idea what I want in my 2000.4, so I've worked out what sort of models I need. Now, one thing that I will say is, obviously, we're about a month away from the new, 2 to 4 weeks away from the new Demons of Chaos 40k Codex book. So at the moment, this is using index rules, the points that I've worked out. So that's why I've not finalised it as an army. But obviously, when the Demonette rulebook comes out, I'll do another video analysing that book and giving my ideas on how that's going to shape my force. And also I'm hoping in time, obviously, we might see some new models released. Now Slaanesh tends to be, on the whole, left out and forgotten about. Out of all the gods, Khorne obviously gets all the love, Tzeentch gets a lot of love, Nurgle's starting to get a lot of love now, with the 12 days of Nurgle, or 7 days of Nurgle, whatever, for the Christmas time period. But I'm hoping that they tag on into the Demon Codex release, the Slaanesh models also. They might not, but I'm certainly hoping at the end of this year, at least, we'll see a new Keeper of Secrets, which is a great demon of Slaanesh. If we do, as and when we do get new greater demons, then obviously that's something that I'm very much going to want to try and include in my force. So you might see, you'll see them added to my force, but changes in my force also. So this video series is something that is showing you the development of this army. The reasons why I'm picking the models that I picked, whether it's for monetary reasons, whether it's for their on battlefield, their rules, or whether it's just simply because I love the aesthetics. Whatever the reasons are, I'll give you the reasons behind why I'm buying each model. But also, obviously, I will, as the army expands, if I do manage to get a few games in, also, that will influence how the army develops, and also your guys' comments also. Now I'm hoping, as I say, to eventually include a Keeper of Secrets, or I'm actually thinking 2 Keeper of Secrets. I've actually got an army in my head, roughly, that will be able to include 2 Keeper of Secrets, and I'll be almost like they're like Gemini sort of twin Grey Demons, which would be quite a cool concept and fluff background to the army. But I would still keep the champion and warlord of my army as the herald on the chariot. That's the idea anyway, but we'll see how things go. But this is just the brief introduction into this series. It's still taking 10 minutes, but showing you everything that I've purchased. So my first budget was 150 quid. I spent that buying 3 start collecting boxes, and my intentions are to obviously get them all done within roughly 4 weeks time. I do have other projects on at the moment and couldn't just work, but Warhammer projects such as the malign portents. Obviously death is becoming a big thing within Age of Sigmar, so I do want to get some Death Army up and running also, but I'm going to try and focus primarily on my Slaanesh unless some really cool Death Army models get released, in which case, forgive me, I'll release the videos as soon as I can, but that's the general scheme of things. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you guys have any comments on one thing that I'm not sure on is how to base these models. I went through a multitude of different ideas, such as putting them on almost like demon world bases. Resin bases was an original concept, but I want to work with my own basing techniques, and I know that you can combine PVA glue, super glue, and bicarbonate of soda to create a really kind of almost demon-like world sort of appearance to the base, especially when it's painted up nicely. I was thinking of that. I don't know what you guys think, but I actually feel in my mind now that I've settled down just almost like Deathland sort of ash wastes sort of theme to the base, so that it would be sort of gravel and dead grass and stuff, and it'll be a sort of dark grey colour to the base, which is something I'm fairly familiar with painting already, so stick with what you know. But I don't want the bases really to detract from the models, but at the same time, demons are one of those kind of armies that you can go kind of super quirky with, especially if you go mono god. You don't have to worry about like lava for corn demons, looks great, but lava for demonettes or lava for Nurgle, it looks a bit weird. So as a result, sometimes your quirkiness can be toned down a bit if you want to mix the different types of demons up. But obviously, because I'm doing Slaanesh, doing a really quirky sort of base might be good. And obviously, feel free to share in the comments any techniques that you've learned or any bases that you pictures or anything like that, links to pictures. That's one thing that I'm still stumbling along on at the moment. So in a month's time, I'm hoping these models will be made, providing they're not overly complicated to build. But bases we might see at a later date, because I still, once I commit to it, I'll obviously I've got to commit to it, you know. But what I might do is I might get a few bases out, a few blank bases, a few spare bases out, and just practice a few different techniques and see what looks good. I think that's the overall best idea. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.